Okay, today multiplying polynomials with distribution and double distribution. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention over there. You've learned back in Math 8, Math 1, that when you multiply 5x squared times 3x to the fourth, what do you do with the coefficients? These are the coefficients. And what do you do with the exponents? These guys are the exponents. Do you guys remember what you do? Yes.
You add the exponents.
You add the exponents is what he said. Good job. Add the exponents. And what do you do with the coefficients? These are the coefficients. What do you do with the coefficients? It's right there telling us what to do. Multiply coefficients. And what happens with the x's, with the base? The bases stay the same. The x will just stay x. All right, so what do we get here? 5 times 3 is 15. X stays x. And 2 plus 4 is... Okay, before I go any further, do you guys remember that from previous years? Multiply the coefficients, bases stay the same, add the exponents. I'm going to have you try this next one on your own. Number 2, 7y to the third, or 7y cubed, times y to the fifth power. What's sitting right here in front? What's the coefficient here that I don't see? 1. All right, go ahead. All right, what's 7 times 1?
7.
That's okay, 7. And then y stays the same, the base stays the same, and 3 times 5 or 3 plus 5? And that becomes 8. Okay, questions on this review? Okay, so quickly, what do we do with the coefficients? We do what with the coefficients? Multiply the coefficients. And what do we do with the exponents? Add the exponents. All right, questions before we move on. Okay, 2x parentheses x plus 7. 2x times the quantity of x plus 7. Do you guys remember this? What's the math word we're looking for right here? Distribute. We are doing double distribution. Okay, what's the coefficient here that we do not see? 1. What are the exponents here that we do not see? 1 here and a 1 here. So when I multiply, I do what we said earlier. We multiply the coefficients. What's 2 times 1? 2. X stays the same, and we add the exponents. What's 1 plus 1? 2. So 2x times x is 2x squared. This 2 is coming from 2 times 1, and this 2 is coming from 1 plus 1. Do you see that? Plus, what's 2x times 7? 14 what? 14x. There's no other x there to add an exponent, so you still multiply the coefficients. The 7 and the 2 is 14, and x just stays x. And this here is your final answer. Questions before we move on? Number 4, m plus 8 parentheses 3m. Does it matter does it matter if that 3m is in the beginning or the end? No. Are we still going to do distribution?
Yes.
Okay, what I suggest you do first is keep track of your coefficients and your exponents. What's the coefficient here that I don't see? And what's the coefficient here? Right here? 8. This is 8, right? It's just 8 by itself. All right, what's the exponent here that I don't see?
1.
And on this one as well, there is a 1. All right, so we do 3 times 1 is?
3.
M to what power?
2.
2. Plus 3 times 8 is? 24. Okay. Before I go any further, any questions on these? I will tell you right now, tomorrow we will be working backwards. Do I see you guys tomorrow?
What do you mean?
Thursday. Block day we will be working backwards, meaning I will give you the answer, I'll give you this, and ask you to go backwards to this. Does that make sense? So I'm going to give you the answer and say, what was the original problem before distribution happened? And it's that. I'd give you this, and what was the original problem before distribution happened? And you'd give me that. Okay, so backwards is what we'll be doing tomorrow. Okay, number 5, negative m parentheses 4m cubed minus 7m squared plus m close parentheses. I'm going to walk you through this one and have you try the next one on your own. So let's put our 1s wherever they need to be. Should I put a 1 in front of that m? So it's not just negative m, it's negative 1m. All right, what's the power here that I don't see? 1. Any other 1s I need to put in? By this m, coefficient and exponent. Do you guys agree? Okay, so do that first. Put your 1s in where they're needed. And let's go ahead and distribute. What was it here? Multiply the coefficients. What's negative 1 times 4?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. And remember, you add the exponents. So 1's an exponent, 3's an exponent. What does that give me? 4th power, and the bases stay the same. M stays in. It's not an exponent, negative exponent, because that's positive 1 and that's positive 3. Okay? Take away. Oh, take away or plus when I multiply negative 1 and negative 7. Plus what?
No, 7.
Plus 7. M to what power? There's a 2 here and a 1 here. Do I multiply or add the exponents? Add. Positive 1 plus positive 2 is 3. And then negative 1 and positive 1, when I multiply, this is a negative 1, that's a positive 1, plus 1 or minus 1? Do I have to put the 1 there? You don't really have to. It's okay if you do. I'm not going to, but if you put negative 1m, is that okay? Yeah. All right. Am I done or did I miss something? Right here. How did you know that was a second power?
You still did the multiplication, so you have to add up the exponents.
Good. Right here, he said we still did this multiplication, so we still have to add up the exponents. And 1 plus 1 is the 2. This here is your final answer. Again, tomorrow, put your phones away, please. I would give you this, and you would work backwards to this. Got it? Okay, questions on 5. Okay. Number 6. I'm going to have you try this one on your own. 5d parentheses negative d to the third plus 2d squared minus 3d. All right, what I would suggest first is that you put your 1s wherever they need to be and then do your distribution. All right. Did you guys put your ones in place? Tell me where you put them.
5D.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Negative 3D.
Right here?
No.
Oh, right here.
It's a negative 3D.
Okay. And then what about here?
You can put,
Oh, yeah, you
Okay.
can put one there too.
Okay. All right. So let's multiply 5 times negative 1 because we always multiply the coefficients. So what's 5 times negative 1?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. And what do we do with the exponents? Add them. So, and these are my exponents. 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay, next one. Nathan, help me out. I'm here with the 5 and the 2. And what do we do with the coefficients?
Add them.
Right here.
multiple, right?
Oh, no.
We multiply. It's okay. We multiply our coefficients. So what is 5 times 2? 10. Okay, Nathan, keep telling me. I'm right here. What do we do with the exponents?
Add them.
Add them. And so that's going to be, I'm right here. What does that give me? D to what power?
Diff.
I'm right here. This one and this one.
Third.
Third. Okay, do you see that? D1 and D2 gives me D3 when I add the exponents. The one on the outside and this one on the inside. So what am I doing? I'm taking the 5D and hitting it to each term individually. Do you guys see that? The 5D goes to the first term and becomes this. The 5D goes to the second term and becomes this. The 5D goes to the third term and becomes what? Negative 15 D to the second. Now, do I ever mix together these two terms or these two terms inside? Should I be adding any of these exponents together? No. It's the one guy on the outside to each term individually. Any questions before we move on? There is a new piece to it that we will see. Okay, and that's this next piece here. Number 7. These you've not seen before. These are my favorite type of distribution problems. I'm going to show you what they look like. X plus 4 parentheses times the quantity of x plus 7. Bless you. All right. Does it look a little different from the last few that we've had? Okay. What's nice is it's very similar. What do we call this up here? It starts with the D word. Distribution. Do you agree we did distribution property over and over? This is just called double distribution. Double distribution. What does that mean? What am I going to distribute first?
The X.
The X. And after the X gets distributed, what do you think I'm going to distribute second? The 4. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to take the X and multiply it to that X and multiply it to that 7 first. That's going to be my first step. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put my 1s here and here and as my coefficients there and there. And what is 1x times 1x? 1x to what power? Second. Because 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Keep in mind what you're doing with what? Multiplying the coefficients, adding the exponents. All right. Plus 1 times 7 is what? 7. And there's no x here to add, so it's just 7x. Okay, now am I done with the problem?
No.
What have I not even looked at or touched yet? The 4. That's the double distribution part. We're going to take the 4 and distribute to the same things, the x and then the 7. Do you see the red lines went to the x and the 7? And now the green lines go to the x and to the 7. Double distribution. And your earbuds. Thank you. All right, what's 4 times 1x?
4x.
And 4 times 7? 20 what? And are there any exponents to add here at the end or any exponents at all for 4 times 7? There's no x there. There's no x's, so it's just 28. Okay, I'm not done because I still have like terms to combine, but before I go any further, do you see where I got the red set of terms and then the green set of terms?
Yes.
Red came from distributing what term?
X.
The x, and the green came from distributing what term?
4.
The 4. Double distribution. There's such a thing as triple distribution, quadruple distribution. You can distribute a 5-term polynomial. It takes a lot longer, but it's possible. Does this make sense? Okay, so do we have like terms? I did say we have like terms. Which ones are they?
7 and 4.
Okay, I'm going to write a note here. Combine like terms. Write it down so when you're doing your work, if you get stuck, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, that was the next step. I combine like terms. And Christian said it's 7x and the 4x. X squared plus now be careful here. Am I multiplying these two or adding? Okay, is adding like terms different from multiplying? Yes. You will add your coefficients just like you think, but here's a common mistake kids make. 7x plus 4x, they say, oh, that's 11x squared. Is that squared or not squared? When you're adding like terms, you do not change the exponents. When is the only time the exponent changes? When you're multiplying. When you are multiplying is when you add them. If you're adding like terms, should you be doing anything to the exponents? No, it stays. So 7x plus 4x is 11x, not 11x squared. Please be careful with that. Plus 28. And that there is my final answer. And once again, tomorrow or Thursday for us, we will be working backwards. I would give you this, and you're going to work your way back to find that. Okay? Now, another mistake I see kids make, I'm going to just make sure, I'm going to say it really quick so you don't do it. Right here, they say, oh, these are all like terms. I'm going to add all of these up and add all the exponents up. Are these like terms? What makes them not like terms?
The exponents.
The different exponents. If there are different exponents, can I add them together? No. Then don't. You can't. I always have kids add them and then say, oh, 4 plus 3. No. When you're adding like terms, 1, you can't add them if they don't have the same exponents. 2, when they do have the same exponents, do you add the exponents? No, just the coefficients. All right? Okay, what did I call this? Double what? Double distribution. That's what I like to call it. I'm going to tell you another word people will often use, and it's important that you know it because you will hear it. And I go back and forth between the two. Have any of you ever heard of the FOIL method? Not like aluminum foil, spelled the same way, but not the same thing. Have any of you ever heard of the FOIL method? So if you ever hear it, you know what it is. I'm going to tell you now. F stands for first, outer, inner, last. First, outer, inner, last. What does that mean? First, outer, inner, last. The F stands for the first two terms, first terms, outer terms, inner terms, last terms. First, outer, inner, last. Any of you like the FOIL way?
No.
Any of you like just thinking of it as double distribution? I like double distribution because when you do triple distribution, you can't call it first, outer, inner, last. So I typically refer to it this way, but this way has been used for so many years that I still call it that every now and then. So know it, so that when you hear it, when I say it, you know that the FOIL means the same as what? Double distribution. First, outer, inner, last. Got it? And I will have kids do it that way. Like I've seen kids that the way they were taught. First, they took the first terms and they would do this, x times x. Outer is 1x times 7. Inner is 4 times x, and last is 7 times 4, or 4 times 7. And they would put x times x is x squared, x times 7 is 7x, 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 7 is 28. But they actually list it this way, and it helps them. So if you feel like, you know what, that helps me better on my eyes, I can visualize it better when I break it up this way, then do it that way. Do what way works best for you. Questions before I move on? Okay, number 8. Parentheses y minus 3, parentheses y plus 8. Would anybody like me to show it with the first, outer, inner, last little bits and pieces? No? Do any of you guys want to try it on your own? You're ready to try on your own? Yeah? Okay, try it. Double distribution. Distribute the y, and then distribute the 8. I'm sorry, negative 3. And don't forget to put your 1s in there as well for your powers. And your coefficients. All right. Okay, now I saw a lot of correct answers as I walked around. I saw a lot of people making little tiny mistakes, so I want to just review again. When we're working with this, when we're multiplying, what do we do with the coefficients? That's the red ones in the front. Add them or multiply them. And 1 times 1 is 1. Y, and then what do I do with the powers? Add them. And 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, now I'm here. So this is positive what? 8y. And now I'm going to change colors to my second piece. Negative 3 times positive 1y is plus 3y or minus 3y?
Minus 3y.
And then negative 3 times positive 8 minus 24 plus 24. And are we done? I had a lot, as I walked around, I saw a lot of kids stuck here. Are we done?
No.
No. What do we still have to do?
Combine like terms.
This one with that one, are those my like terms?
Yes.
5y.
So y squared, positive or negative 5?
Positive 5.
Plus 5y. Now remember, no squareds. You don't do anything with the exponents. You just add the coefficients. 8 take away 3 is 5. And so it's 5y minus 24. Again, what are we doing tomorrow? Or block day? Backwards. Yep. All right. I'm going to let you try this next one on your own. Number 9. Parentheses 2c minus 5, close parentheses, C plus 4. Go ahead and do that one now. All right. I am going to work a little backwards. I'm going to give you the answer. And I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to check with the people in, like you're sitting next to a person, some of you have 3. And you're checking to see if you guys both have the same answer, right answer. If you do not, helping each other out. Oh, this is where you messed up, or this is where I messed up. Let me help. All right, or I need help. Talk to each other.
On the last one.
All right, helping each other. You guys helping each other? Okay, so you got it on your own where the mistake was. Okay.
That'd be 5.
Okay, did you guys help each other? Okay, 2c, there's a 1 there and a 1 there and a 1 there. What's 2c times 2c? 2c to the second. 2c times positive 4 is 8c. Am I done with the whole problem? Nope. And then I distribute 5 or negative 5? Negative 5 times 1c is negative 5c, and negative 5 times 4 is
Negative 20.
negative 20. And do I have like terms here as well? Here and here. 2c squared stays. 8c, take away 5c is,
3C.
and no squared, right? Because combining like terms, you do not change the powers. You're listening, take your earbuds out. And then minus the 20. Can I combine any of these or any of these like terms? No, this is it. That's your final answer. All right, questions before we move on to the last one? Okay, this next one, something tricky happens. I shouldn't say tricky, something different. So try it, and if something different happens, expect it. Don't freak out like, oh yeah, she warned me. Try it on your own. Okay, did any of you figure out what different happened here? You don't have to tell me what it is, just did you see something different happening? Okay, like the last one, I'm going to give the answer, and then you're going to talk to each other and help each other out. I have as the answer x squared minus, I told you, okay. No, I paused. This is pausing. I can't pause recording, so it's pause. Some people were still finishing. Sorry. I jumped the gun.
Okay.
All right, x squared minus 25. Help each other out if you didn't get that. If you did, you're helping. If you didn't, you're getting it explained. If neither one of you got it, help each other out, or you can ask me or someone around you. Hey, up here, helping each other.
X minus 5x plus 5x.
And what happens with the plus 5x and the minus 5x when you combine them?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, you guys help each other out?
So, when you do the double distribution,
X squared minus 5x plus 5x, you don't have the minus 5 on the side.
but when you subtract the rest, they'll cancel out.
And then what happens
It'll just be x squared.
Okay. Do you guys have it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go quickly. X times x is x squared. Minus 5x plus 5x minus what? And what happens with the middle terms here? That will happen whenever these two are conjugates, meaning they're exactly the same, but the signs in the middle are different. Got it?